Did you know Michael Jackson was $500 million in debt when he passed away in 2009? The king of pop went on massive spending sprees in his later years, and rumors were starting to circulate that he was on the verge of having to sell one of his most valuable assets, a 50% stake in the Sony ATV catalog. You've probably heard the story about Jackson purchasing the Beatles catalog. Well, it wasn't just the Beatles. He bought the 4,000-song ATV catalog in 1985 for $47.5 million. That library included Bruce Springsteen, Cher, Elvis, Little Richard, and the Rolling Stones.
In 1988, Michael Jackson bought a ranch in California and named it Neverland, a dreamland inspired by Peter Pan. Michael turned it into a magical escape with an amusement park, zoo, and movie theater. It was his safe haven. He even celebrated his first ever Christmas there with Elizabeth Taylor. It was his joy away from the world. Jackson didn't just keep Neverland to himself. He also welcomed children and their families to spend time there and have fun, all for free. Michael even had beds installed for sick children so they could watch movies and also enjoy their time at Neverland. But in 2003, Neverland's magic was shattered when over 60 officers raided his home during a criminal investigation. After a lengthy trial, Jackson was acquitted of all charges against him, and in 2005, he left his dream home forever.
I won't live there ever again. I'll visit Neverland. It's a house now, it's not a home anymore. I'll only visit there.
Mr. Michael Jackson was poisoned, terrorized, isolated from the world in recent times, and then killed. In 1985, he bought the Beatles catalogue and in theory and practically should have been very rich. But he had financial problems despite the fact that the Beatles catalogue was a continuous source of money, and after that he bought more catalogues. What brutal dark mafia activity is going on in the Hollywood music industry? He had to leave his beloved Neverland. After buying the catalogs, Tommy Mottola, Sony, business partner of Epstein, Weinstein, Jay-Z and P. Diddy.
Heal the world. I really believe that.
We are the world. These artists are just singing a song here. Maybe there are some of them who like this cause. The king of the world and music made this song, and he fought for this cause his whole life. Mr. Michael Jackson gave everything for it. His artistic talent, which is at a level that man never reaches. He gave his money, his time, his health, and his life. Mr. Michael Jackson healed the world. While here was the world was a better place. Works are heard. The world will miss you forever. We love you, Mr. Michael Jackson, forever from every corner of the world.
Michael, in the 1980s, you had the largest selling album in history with Thriller, as well as two largest selling albums of the decade, Thriller and Bad. Now, with Dangerous, you've given us the fastest selling album of your career, as well as the most successful single of your career with Black or White. Just after 2 months, Dangerous has sold what it took both Thriller and Bad more than 4 months to sell. Michael, on the screen to my left, and on display in the lobby, is a special award we've created to commemorate the worldwide sales of the first 10 million copies of Dangerous. And I do mean the first 10 million copies. We're prouder than ever to have you as part of the Sony music family, and you've accomplished miracles already with Dangerous. And the thrilling fact is that the best is definitely yet to come. Congratulations.
Jackson wanted to save himself and other artists from the music industry. Tommy Mottola, Sony, Clive Davis and his slep Jay-Z, P. Diddy, Beyoncé, and Hollywood. He fought alone against them in an America where the government and the justice system supported the heads of the music industry. That's why they poisoned his life and killed him. He was not a gangster.
So I'm leaving Sony a free agent, owning half of Sony. So I own half of Sony's publishing, and I'm leaving them, and they're very angry at me because of it. And Tommy Mottola is a devil.
You know, you are that Tommy Mottola, right?
I am that guy.
Some things you wanted to know about the music business and his life, and I was right there when Michael Jackson came out and made some really explosive comments about who you are and the relationship between you and he. How did you first start working with Michael? And what did you think?
We worked together probably 12 years or more prior to that. And we had nothing but an incredible working relationship.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of that was to do with the fact that we were having success. This was around the time of all the allegations that had come out about Michael, and with reference to the things that were being said about him,
child molestation charges,
and the Invincible album, and it was almost the perfect storm where all of those allegations and this album came out. The success of this album, very early in its time, was not nearly the kind of success that Michael was hoping for, or that we were hoping for as a company.
Michael Jackson knew that the devil is Sony's Tommy Mottola. I understand the body's reaction. This is a lie without blinking. He only failed once. When he lied that it was not Sony's fault that they didn't sell as many records, but Michael Jackson's bad reputation. He scratched his nose. And the secret was out, right? Tommy Mottola, Sony's dark mafia in Hollywood, using the media to destroy Mr. Michael Jackson's name. We always wanted everything from Mr. Michael Jackson. We bought everything in seconds. Even though Tommy Mottola, Sony didn't spend money on advertising, and there was no internet. And so Mr. Michael Jackson got into the Guinness Book of Records. Tommy Mottola, Sony did everything they could to prevent Mr. Michael Jackson's works from being played. Nowhere, not on the radio, not on TV, not anywhere, were Mr. Michael Jackson's works played. And yet we were really looking forward to it.
Put an end to this racism. Racism is bad. Tommy Mottola made some very racist remarks. But what he said was to one of the artists who work at Sony. He has a contract with the company. And he called him a fat black nigger.
Why was it important for you to be here, and what do you think of the support of Reverend Al Sharpton?
I think it's important to be here. I'm not just fighting for myself, I'm fighting for all artists.
I was so tired of it. They start out the most popular person in the world, make a lot of money, big house, cars, and everything, end up with penniless. It is conspiracy. The Jews do it on purpose.
Mr. Michael Jackson said the mob was after him. Tommy Mottola, Sony, and the heads of the music industry, Hollywood, are the main characters of the Epstein list. Not a single news item in the American media. It would be normal if this were also broadcast on TV. The media is paid off, and the rest is on the Epstein list. What is the matter with you? American justice system. This cover-up and diversion is so obvious that even in our kindergartens they know it.
And there it is, all 10 counts, not guilty on all 10 counts.
Well, here. No second thoughts. Did you ever, any one of you, raise your hand if you did any one of you ever think guilty?
Why do America's media mutants want to so violently denounce Mr. Michael Jackson as a criminal? And now there's nothing with the Epstein case, everyone is deaf and dumb. A. Neither in the news nor in the newspapers do they write about child murderers. And that's a fact. Why is there nothing media news about Sony's Tommy Mottola, Clive Davis, Jay-Z, P. Diddy, Oprah, Beyonce, and their associates? Tommy Mottola, Sony, and the heads of the music industry, Hollywood, are the main characters of the Epstein list. Not a single news item in the American media. It would be normal if this were also broadcast on TV. The media is paid off, and the rest is on the Epstein list. What is the matter with you? American justice system. This cover-up and diversion is so obvious that even in our kindergartens they know it.
When they lie, the lies, they're complete lies. And it hurts. And it hurts me because I know there's children out there who has to hear that crap.
Others couldn't help themselves. Do you sometimes despair of human nature?
Yes.
Year after the airing of Martin Bashir's searing documentary.
None of that, any of that makes any of it the truth. I don't get it, and I don't think I ever will. It's always been a friend, not just of me, but my whole entire family.
You know, we just had the best times. You know, he's always been nothing but a great friend. It was just kind of weird, and I was like, dude, anything I can help, you know, just let me know when you can come to court. And it's like, you know, I'll ask. And then it was like they wouldn't let any more people come to court on his behalf. Now all the news came out.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? Like, the time has gone by that all the information has come out, all the lies that was told, all the money bag grabs was, you know, is out there now. After he died, a few of those people came forward and said, you know, it never happened, we didn't do anything, we was pressured by parents, by this or that, and when they needed money real bad, and they figured that was the way to get at them. And there was people out in the press that actually came clean, but it's a little late, you know what I mean? Thanks a lot, you know what I mean? You put them through hell, and all of that is out there now. And there's people still believing nonsense, and the truth is finally out. So imagine being accused of something. This is something, you know, our generation and our people understand. Being accused of something, and how do you even prove you're innocent of something you're completely not guilty of?
Wow.
And so all of those things converging, you know, like any child or artist, you lash out at, you know, your record company, you know, the voice of authority. It's never anybody else's fault, right? So I think the fact that it didn't sell, you know, really disturbed him, and he thought that we were not standing behind him. So, you know, there you go.
Yep, and then he had a press conference, and Al Sharpton was there.
Correct.
And I remember this like it was yesterday because it came out of nowhere.
Right.
And, you know, people are going to pay attention because Michael didn't come out and make public announcements often. So
Correct.
the whole world was watching.
Correct.
And this is what he said.
The record companies really, really do conspire against their artists. They steal, they cheat, they do whatever they can, especially the black artists. Sony, Tommy Mottola. Tommy Mottola is the president of the record division. He is a mean, he's a racist, and he's very, very, very devilish.
Devilish.
Right. So the next day I wake up and I see my picture in the paper with devil horns on the front page, right?
Yeah.
So I'm going like, okay. You know?
So just for the record, you don't worship the devil or no demonic practices, nothing like that.
We're singing. Tommy Mottola.
In fact, Al went forward and made a big statement to all the newspapers, you know, about what Michael had said and about all of those things being, in his opinion, untrue. And that I, in fact, was there supporting Michael in a very, very big way. And Russell Simmons and, you know, everybody that had heard all of that just stepped forward and just said, look, you know, if you don't have a good piece of product and it's not successful, it's not always the fault of the record company, you know. So, you know, it blew over and, you know, Michael and I got friendly, very friendly again. And I certainly didn't hold anything against him because, you know, I understood his emotions.
Yeah.
After coming from the kind of success that he had achieved, and this is the greatest talent in the world, or one of the greatest talents in the world ever, to not have that, and then all of the pressures being put on him with all those allegations, there was tremendous pressure. So, he just lashed out at that point, and that was that.
And then you guys reconciled. You said
absolutely.
So y'all became cool again.
We were in business together.
Yeah.
We jointly owned the Beatles catalog with him. We had his recording contract. We had to make records together, and we got together and started doing business. Almost like nothing had ever happened.
Nothing had ever happened.
Yeah.
Were you shocked when you found out about his death?
Ooh, I was, I was terribly shocked because it happened.
Yeah,
but not that it happened. Do you know what I mean?
Explain that.
I mean, Michael had really not taken care of himself, in my opinion, and everybody around him never really watched him the way they should have, and was in a lot of ways were around him for all the obvious reasons. This was a money machine, simple as that. And there's no finger pointing.
Yeah,
there's no finger. Look, this was a 40, 50-year-old man who was responsible for his own actions. Period. End of story. But at the end of the day, there were a lot of yes people. Most of them were all yes people. I was one of the few guys that said no.
Yeah.
And I was also one of the few guys that, as a result of that, A, had his respect, but B, was the subject of him when he wasn't happy as well.
Yeah.
So, I just wish that people were there to have a stronger hand in what was going on and what was not going on. But, coulda, woulda, shoulda, no one really knows all the facts because no one was really there. Sad thing is Michael's not here.
He's not here
That's
today.
the pathetically sad thing, to have that great a treasure gone.
Many of us may wonder whether these stories are just rumors, or if there's truth behind them. In a world ruled by fame and fortune, it's hard to separate fact from fiction. But one thing is certain, both Tommy Mottola and P. Diddy hold immense power in the entertainment industry. Each has controversial stories surrounding them, but in different ways. While P. Diddy often appears in the public spotlight, Tommy Mottola prefers to operate behind the scenes, letting the mystery about him grow over time. But the big question remains, who is truly more dangerous to the artists they manage? Is it Mottola, with his limitless control over the record world, or Diddy, who uses fame and influence to build his personal empire? The answer may never be entirely clear, but one thing is certain, both figures have left an indelible mark, not only on the careers of artists but also on the history of the music industry. In the music industry, where money, power, and fame are intertwined, no major figure is completely free of controversy. Tommy Mottola and P. Diddy are just two of many power players in this world, but they've transformed the face of the music industry in ways that can never be undone. Are they ruthless? It depends on which perspective you take. Maybe they're just playing the same game everyone in the industry plays.
Back home, the prodigal son has returned, and my new fucking neighbor, Jose, Tommy Mottola.
We here. Tommy Mottola.
God, why are you blessing me so much? So many of my great friends are just coming.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the living legend, Tommy Mottola. Let's see what we're doing.
With the boss there, Rick Ross, conjuring up some big ideas.
Big ideas.
Business.
It's all about strategizing. We ain't got no time to waste.
We're gonna kill it.
Kill it.
You know what I'm saying? My neighbor pulled up. What's up? Yeah, man. Let everything go. Let it go. You know what I'm saying? Them too. Whoever's bothering you and shit, getting in your way, we gonna go up. Yeah.
I'd like to thank you for your assisting me in bringing justice to Tommy Mottola. This is not a good man. He's a racist. And he used a lot of other people's careers to destroy other people's careers. I don't want to call any names.
Medical center in Culver City where he had been treated. Everybody thought he'd sue Pepsi because it was a mistake, Karen said. Brian Panish, an attorney for Michael's mother. "I can't disappoint the audience," she said he later told her. When he finished, he collapsed and security took him to the hospital, she said. The fall left Michael with back pain that flared when he was under physical or emotional stress.
My shoulder is dislocated literally. It's hurting me very badly. I'm in pain all the time.
Were you under the influence of drugs or alcohol that impaired your ability to understand what you were doing?
It could have been medication, yes.
Okay. What medications were you taking in about January of 2003?
Could have easily have been pain medication because I had some serious injuries on tour.
Okay. On what tour?
I had a serious fall. I'm not sure it was the tour. It was a show that we did, a benefit show. And I had an accident also at home. So I'm sure it's something to do with that.
Okay. And so is it your testimony today that you gave a power of attorney to Dieter Weisner and Ronald Conitzer when you were under the influence of prescription medication?
Could have been, probably.
So that's probably?
Probably, yes, probably.
Were you impaired by the taking of prescription medications or something else at the time you signed these two documents?
Could have been.
Okay. Is that your best recollection, is that you signed these while impaired, not knowing what they meant?
Could maybe say so, but I don't remember them.
You weren't impaired by the taking of prescription medication at the time you signed this?
Could have been. I don't know.
How long during 2003 were you impaired because of the taking of prescription medication?
I don't know.
Was it most of 2003?
I'm not sure.
Okay. Did Dr. Forsheim prescribe that medication for you?
No, it wasn't Forsheim.
Okay.
I think it was a local.
March 31, 2003, were you still impaired because of the taking of prescription medication?
Could have been.
Now, during the period of time you were impaired by the taking of prescription medication, was this an impairment that lasted like all your waking hours, or did it come and go?
It comes and goes. Not all of your waking hours, of course not.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Now, during the period of time you were taking this medication where you weren't impaired, did you ever tell one of your advisors that you were concerned about your impairment and they better watch what you're signing during this period of time?
Not that I recall.
As of July 3rd, 2003, were you still at times impaired because of the consumption of prescription medication?
I'm not sure.
It's possible you were still impaired.
It could be.
Do you think you were impaired when you remember writing, do you think you were impaired when you wrote MJ Decide?
I don't know.
Okay.
This is what the music industry took advantage of. Painkillers are not the same as drugs. Mr. Michael Jackson is the greatest artist in world history and the greatest world celebrity. The hyenas were watching every opportunity to make money from him. This is what the music industry, Sony, Tommy Mottola, and their media took advantage of. Everything that tarnished Mr. Michael Jackson's name was done with organized direction by the music industry in America. They tortured his life and then killed him in front of the world in an organized manner. Michael Jackson owned not only the Beatles catalog, but many others as well. In addition, Michael Jackson fought to ensure that Sony's Tommy Mottola only received 50% of his royalties. The music industry lives off the blood of musicians. Michael Jackson, pleading Face Red Heart, stood alone against all of Hollywood, music industry, Tommy Mottola, Clive Davis, Jay-Z, P. Diddy, Oprah, Weinstein, Epstein, Beyonce, the big shady prominent, the shady politicians, and the Thai mafia smile with horns. That's why they made his life difficult, ruined his health. He was too strong and smart. He had too good a heart and he loved children. That's why they killed him. Hollywood, music industry, politicians, prominent, or a bunch of devil's root. Everyone does business with everyone. Michael Jackson is the greatest talent in music history forever. And still the biggest money-making machine in Hollywood. Michael Jackson, wing infinity crown, red heart hands, told everything in his last phone call 16 years ago. And now they are slowly coming to light. Hollywood, music industry, politicians, prominent, or a bunch of devil's root. Everyone does business with everyone. Why doesn't the FBI and CIA care about this? The greatest and most valuable artist, Michael Jackson, left behind a series of evidence that they wanted to kill him, and before his death. And that's exactly what happened. Mr. Michael Jackson was prevented from releasing new works by the heads of the music industry, Tommy Mottola, Sony, and those who do the dirty work, and the Hollywood Black Mafia. They closed him off from the world. Yet the world was waiting for new opportunities to finally hear about the king again. The world's greatest artist in music history who broke the Guinness World Record with his album Sales. We bought all the tickets in a few hours. His works were not played anywhere, not on the radio, not anywhere. This is more than a crime. America, the torture and murder of Michael Jackson's life is on you. You let the music industry mafia network, the media, Hollywood do this to the king of the world. You are guilty, America. They hide the king's work from the world. Even after his death, Michael Jackson is a threat to the black mafia of the music industry, Tommy Mottola, Sony, and those who do the dirty work. We wanted everything. We want everything from Mr. Michael Jackson in every part of the world. Mr. Michael Jackson is such a huge talent and versatile, and he has just as big a heart. Hollywood could have worked with a heart and with greater success. Satisfied with artists, if Michael Jackson could have opened his own music industry. Sony, Tommy Mottola, Clive Davis, the heads of the music industry in Hollywood, the dark mafia, the reason. The FBI and CIA cannot check them. They get the green light for everything. Also, that Michael Jackson's works were taken from the world. That Michael Jackson was killed by the leaders of the music industry with his assassins, because he was so big. He would have become bigger than Sony, than Hollywood. The dirty story was also created by the heads of the music industry about the king. Michael Jackson wanted to save other artists and future artists from the Hollywood music mafia. That's why he buyed the catalogs. How has the music industry been able to work like this until now? Because the world's elite and politicians give them the green light. Business everyone with everyone. I pray that justice will still come in this world. May it be so. Mr. Michael will be forever missed and loved by everyone in the world globe crown. The media can make you believe that the biggest, brightest, clearest star is the darkest. Michael Jackson is so big that few have believed the media's demonic business. Billions of us all over the world know that you are the brightest star. The world will forever miss you, Michael Jackson, the greatest forever. Michael Jackson was an angel among devils in Hollywood. Michael Jackson was a one-man army of God against Hollywood, music industry, provinces, politicians.
We ain't got no time to waste.
We're gonna kill it.
Kill it.
Say who I can see and where I can see them, and he said, I don't like it.
He had taken over Michael's complete life. He had taken over.
June Gatlin was Michael's spiritual advisor.
Michael was deathly afraid of him. That's an excellent word, deathly afraid.
What was Michael afraid of?
He was afraid of who this man is, afraid of whatever this man may or be capable of doing.
Court papers reveal Tomei's been accused of everything from fraud to making threats, and all of it, friends say, was getting too close for Michael Jackson.
Last time we spoke, you told me to check on Dr. Tomei, and I did a complete checking.
In September 2008, with Michael's permission, she taped one of their phone sessions. In this exclusive recording never heard before, Michael launches into his fears about his top advisor, Tomei.
This guy, she just has ways about him that looks like see what he's done. He's built this divide between me and my representatives, and I don't talk to my lawyer, my accountant. I talk to him, and he talks to them. That's not good. I know it's not good. I don't like it. And I want to get somebody in there with him that I know and trust. I don't know what's in my accounts. I don't know. Oh, that's not good, Michael. I know that's not good.
When Michael talked to you about Tomei, what did he say?
June, I don't like him. I don't trust him. He's mean. He's trying to keep me and separate me from everything and everybody I love.
You cannot allow somebody to just be in total control of your life. I totally agree with that. That's why I'm calling you.
Whatever, just take it off.
Now, why do you believe that Hollywood was created by the CIA?
Well, before we say Hollywood was created by the CIA, I guess I should clarify because, first off, you guys do know the Pentagon has a budget for film. Like there's a whole department in the Pentagon.
Know that.
That's a fact. There you go. That's all you need to know. There's an entire department in the Pentagon. They get involved with films, and they get involved with films for the purpose of propaganda. They always have.
What movies have
I
they
should have
produced?
said Pentagon instead of CIA. Tons of them. I should show you the list. You should pull it up. It's
Google it right
wild.
now.
Yeah, Pentagon
Please.
Department for Hollywood. Tons of them.
I have to
Even
report this.
Transformers. Even Transformers, because they're concerned about certain narratives. They get involved with World War films, how are we telling a story about history? Usually it's because we're lying about what we did or trying not to make Americans aware of the crimes against humanity that we commit overseas,
Yeah, the Pentagon just funded some films. Black Hawk Down, Red Dawn, GoldenEye.
The more you know. So now you understand your experience in theaters is what your government wants you to think. They want you to think that this is how things happen, and it's usually not at all how things have actually happened.
6 of the best movies made with help from the Department of Defense. This is military.
Yeah. I shouldn't have said CIA. I should have just said the government. But
Top Gun.
Yeah.
Red Dawn, Apollo 13.
Mm-hmm. It's all about
Iron Man. Oh,
I didn't know that was on the list.
Now he upset. Now he upset. Let me ask,
interesting.
Now you said
but talking about continue.
What? Iron Man? Nah, that's her limit right there. She was like, you know what? Ow, it's crazy.
What is the point of that? Just control?
Yeah, propaganda. It's crazy. You grow up in school and you think propaganda belongs to the East or something. Propaganda is the name of the game of our government. They, again, never want you to look into the crimes that they are committing, constantly trying to sell themselves as the good guys. They did the most. They rescued and saved the world. They've never done anything bad overseas. If you are living and you believe that the American government hasn't committed crimes against humanity, you had to wake up from the propaganda. You just got to. You got to learn real history, not what was taught to you in a textbook. That's all just propaganda. We've done horrific things. Horrific things.
And I told him I was indifferent, and he didn't like that word. And he cried. And then the final part of the conversation was him telling me that he felt that that someone was going to try and kill him to get a hold of his catalog and his estate.
Free is the media's cover for the others. They play as a team. She has distracted the world from the evil network of Hollywood, of which she is one of the main characters. Oprah Winfrey has ruined the
Son Prince testified that his dad was pushed to the limit, and he heard him say multiple times that they were trying to kill him.
Prince said his father would cry after phone calls, saying, quote, "They're going to kill me."
They're allegedly written by Michael in the weeks leading up to his death. These notes included phrases like, "They are trying to murder me," and "The system wants to kill me for my catalog." In one note, MJ also talked about feeling pressured by AEG and having a bad feeling about his tour. And then a few years down the line, MJ's daughter Paris seemingly started pointing the finger at Sony and John Branca, the co-executor of the Michael Jackson estate. Paris liked a series of tweets slamming Sony and Branca, including one that said, "We've been telling you the truth for 7 effing years. Shame on any of you who sided with Michael Jackson's murderers." Now it's worth pointing out that Michael absolutely despised Sony and openly challenged them by first acquiring half of their catalog before leaving and becoming a free agent. He once even held up a sign on stage saying "Sony kills" and called then CEO of Sony, Tommy Mottola, the devil.
I've generated several $billion for Sony, several billion. And
new lawsuit against him. In the lawsuit, Rodney Lil Rod Jones alleges that Diddy's head of security, Fahim Muhammad, has close connections with law enforcement and was instrumental in helping Diddy cover up his alleged crimes. The lawsuit says Mr. Combs made it clear that his head of security, Fahim Muhammad, had the power to make people and problems disappear. Mr. Combs instructs his staff to always contact Mr. Muhammad if they are ever pulled over by the police in Miami or California. The lawsuit also claims that Diddy's powerful industry friends employed and empowered Fahim to pay off law enforcement. Now here's where it gets even crazier. So it turns out that Fahim Muhammad was also the head of security for Michael Jackson, and he was right there that fateful night when MJ passed away. And get this, when Fahim testified during Dr. Murray's trial, he revealed that he was hired as MJ's chief of security just 10 months before MJ died.
At that point in time, how long had you worked security for Mr. Jackson?
Approximately 10 months.
Another wild part. Fahim had just graduated college with a business degree when he was hired as the head of MJ's security, and he was either 20 or 21. So we're supposed to believe that the king of pop decided to make a 20-year-old with no experience his chief of security? Well, not exactly. According to social media user Ian Carroll, who recently went viral after investigating the connection between Diddy and Michael Jackson, someone else might have done the hiring on behalf of MJ.
For most of Jackson's career, his head of security was Bill Bray, who was his mentor and basically his father. And the two were extremely close. Bill ran his security until he was 70 when he retired, and Jackson continued to pay his medical bills until he died at age 80. But then once Bill retired, Jackson was then protected by other security people that came and went, and he wound up with this guy who has direct connections to Diddy's blackmail. So I'm leaving Sony a free agent. Owning half of Sony. So I own half of Sony's publishing, and I'm leaving them. And they're very angry at me because of it, but the way they get revenge is to try and destroy my album.
But I've always said, you know, good art never dies.
Michael Jackson's Neverland Ranch was a symbol of the pop star's unique and often controversial lifestyle. The property featured a theme park, a zoo, and a variety of other extravagant amenities. Named after Peter Pan, where children never grow up, Neverland was both Jackson's home and a fantastical escape from reality. After financial and legal troubles, Jackson eventually left the ranch, and it has since been sold and renamed.
I don't know if I should tell you this, but I don't know who may be listening. There may be a group of people that want to get rid of me. They don't want me here anymore.
I don't understand. What do you mean? Talk to me.
I can't talk about it over the phone. I don't know what's going to happen, but I just feel in my soul, only God knows, they could shoot me. They could stab me. They could frame me and say I overdosed you with drugs. They can do a lot of things.
Who could do these things?
It's not the government. It's more than the government. But I don't know, Peter. I don't care. They can kill me. I don't even care my life anymore. I just want my children to be okay. My angels. I want them to be safe.
Michael.
And it's very, very sad news, Jim Moret, and to all of our viewers. Both the Los Angeles Times and CBS News are both now reporting that Michael Jackson has died. Now, CNN
And the now unreleased recordings of Michael Jackson. The King of Pop is said to have left behind a mountain of material. Music executive Tommy Mottola, who worked closely with Jackson at Sony Records for 15 years, considers himself the gatekeeper of Jackson's catalog. Tommy, good morning. It's good to see you.
Good morning, man.
Before I get to the unreleased material, you released a statement when Michael Jackson died. You said he is the most talented person you ever worked with. That's high praise.
Please don't videotape what I'm going to say, okay? Turn that off, please. No, what? I don't mind. Tape it.
Guess who's in the Epstein files? Ya boy, Tommy Mottola, Thomas Motorola, Thomas the Tank Engine.
Choo-choo, blood. Choo-choo.
He's in the files.
What was his linkage in the file? Was he a name that popped up many a time, or was he just in passing? Or was he on the island?
Well, let me actually read it to have it right. He appears in the files like 600 times. 681 times. In hundreds of emails connected to Jeffrey, Mr. Epstein, and his circle. And among those emails, there's exchanges about... Wow, that's crazy. Sorry, I was like, I'm reading this in real time. But there's stuff about, SA, human traffic.
I absolutely feel that way. I mean, when you look at every dimension of his career, whether it's the songwriting, the singing, the performing, the blending of rhythm and blues and pop into his own language, the dancing, the videos, the cutting-edge videos that define the video age and really put MTV on the map. Michael Jackson in total was the single most talented person I've ever worked with.
So for all the years that he's putting together these albums, clearly there can only be 12, 14 songs on an album, and he was recording more. So these other songs are somewhere in a vault. Can you characterize that material for me? Is it great material, or did it not make the cut for a reason?
Well, for the 4 albums that I was around for with Michael, there was always over-recording. 12 to 14 songs would end up on the album, just as you said. There would probably be anywhere from 25 to 30 songs recorded. Those songs are still in the can, unreleased.
You've heard these songs?
I've heard a lot of them. I've heard many of them,
And
yes.
so what are we going to learn about Michael? What kind of music are we going to hear for the first time when these come out?
There are hidden gems. there are hidden gems in these songs. At the end of the day, the decision was Michael's what to put on the album and what not. It doesn't mean that the songs that were not released were not as great as the hits that you know. So there could be a whole new life just from these songs alone.
What about the financial life of that? Is this the property of Sony? Is this the property of whatever record company he was working with at the time? Is this the property of the Jackson Family Trust?
At the moment, it's still the property of Sony, to my belief.
And so financially, does Sony reap the rewards of that, or does the Jackson Family Trust really?
Ultimately, Sony and the Jackson family, because the Jackson family will receive royalty income from the sale of those recordings.
Again, as a music executive, what was it about Michael Jackson that allowed so many of his staunch fans to ignore the other headlines in his life, the controversy in his life, and continue supporting him, it seems, unconditionally?
His greatness, his uniqueness. It doesn't matter what genre of music, artist, or fan, whatever they liked, they always looked up to Michael Jackson. I mean, it could be Bono, Bruce Springsteen, Madonna. They all revered Michael Jackson.
But in the years he was making headlines for all the wrong reasons, did that severely impact his marketability?
No one likes bad news. I think at one point in time, when the accumulation of all the bad news was there, it certainly did have an effect.
Tommy Mottola, obviously someone who worked with Michael a long time, 15 years, while at Sony. It's good to see you.
Thank you.
Good morning.
We took Puffy and Ja Rule and put them on pop records, if you remember.
That's right.
You know, whether it was J-Lo or...
For the concert.
Yeah.
When I heard that it was called This Is It, I immediately just was bawling my eyes out. Because I knew, unlike anybody else, his album titles was prophetic. Really? And I knew how much energy that he used to put in just naming an album. And in all the concepts and the feeling and what it means. So when I heard This Is It, I was like, oh no. And he told me that before that album was even done, that, you know, something might go down or whatever. And you know, but it's because you hear it don't mean you accept it. Just because you know it don't mean you ready for it. You know what I mean?
This mansion is where Michael Jackson lived and passed away in 2009. Just a short distance away is the home of another music mogul, American rapper Sean Diddy Combs.
Don't worry if I write rhymes, I write.
And this is where our story begins. Diddy is currently in jail, facing serious charges related to sex trafficking and racketeering. Days after Diddy's arrest, a conspiracy theory has emerged online suggesting there is a secret underground tunnel at his mansion that connects to Michael Jackson's home. According to one version of the story, a neighbor sent an anonymous tip to federal officers about unusual activity at Diddy's house. When the agents arrived, Diddy's team reportedly prevented them from entering. Despite this, the agents decided to search Diddy's newly renovated bedroom. When they moved the bed, they allegedly found a tunnel hidden under a rug and discovered children's clothes inside the passage.
You're not going to believe this, but there is, in fact, a Diddy and Michael Jackson connection.
Social media users have since raised questions about Michael Jackson's death, with some calling for a reopening of his case and alleging Diddy's involvement. However, it's important to note that there is no evidence confirming the existence of this tunnel, and authorities have not verified these claims. The relationship between Sean Diddy Combs and Michael Jackson is not very well documented. They were seen together at the 2003 VMA party hosted by Diddy, but there's no indication of a close friendship. In fact,
Diddy shared a funny story about Michael unexpectedly crashing that party while looking for Beyonce.
Mr. Michael Jackson's here to see about chit-chat. It's right there. He has his arm, bring that up so they can see his arm around me. But then you don't see the shot of him whispering in my ear. Right after the shot was taken, he whispers in my ear. He says, "Where's Beyonce?"
Really?
In a later interview, Diddy expressed his admiration for Michael and a desire to collaborate, but their schedules never matched. Now here's a surprising link between Sean Diddy Combs and Michael Jackson you must know. Fahim Muhammad, Diddy's head of security, used to work for Michael Jackson as his security chief. Notably, Muhammad was among the first to discover Jackson's body after his death. Before working for Diddy, Muhammad was Jackson's bodyguard and driver. Known as Mr. Fix-It, Muhammad now faces allegations of shielding Diddy from authorities in an ongoing lawsuit. Michael Jackson passed away in Los Angeles on 25th June 2009 at the age of 50. The cause of his death was officially ruled to be an overdose of the anesthetic propofol. His personal doctor, Dr. Conrad Murray, was convicted of involuntary manslaughter for administering the drug. Michael Jackson's life was filled with controversy. He faced allegations of child sexual abuse in 1993 and again in 2005. Although he was acquitted and the FBI found no evidence against him, these allegations continued to follow him throughout his life. Now let's come back to Diddy's case. In March this year, police raided Sean Diddy Combs' Los Angeles home. The investigation uncovered disturbing details about his private life. Authorities found large quantities of drugs and unusual items, including over 1,000 bottles of baby oil and lubricants allegedly used for secretive gatherings known as freak-offs. Diddy's lavish parties were often attended by A-list celebrities. He was alleged to have tapes of these celebrities in compromising positions during his freak-off parties. Diddy would use the footage to blackmail and pressure his victims into silence. Authorities seized his property as the case involved many high-end celebrities. Sean Diddy Combs is accused of sexually abusing over 120 people. 25 victims were reportedly minors at the time of assault. He was arrested on 16 September this year. Recent lawsuits allege Diddy was involved in incidents of rape at a 2005 MTV VMAs after party where numerous celebrities like Eva Longoria and Paris Hilton were present. A lawsuit claims a woman was raped by Diddy and a female celebrity when she was just 13 years old. 2 new lawsuits have been filed against Diddy earlier this week. One of the lawsuits accused him of drugging and sexually assaulting a 10-year-old boy in a New York City hotel room in 2005. A second lawsuit alleges Diddy assaulted a teenager auditioning for MTV reality show Making the Band, which Diddy produced. Sean Diddy Combs is currently being held at New York's Metropolitan Detention Center. He has denied all allegations against him. However, the court denied him bail and he will remain in custody until his trial in May next year. If convicted of racketeering, he would face life in prison. As the curtains close on Diddy's lavish lifestyle, the question remains: will justice prevail, or will the music...
Michael Jackson's Neverland Ranch was a symbol of the pop star's unique and often controversial lifestyle. The property featured a theme park, a zoo, and a variety of other extravagant amenities. Named after Peter Pan, where children never grow up, Neverland was both Jackson's home and a fantastical escape from reality. After financial and legal troubles, Jackson eventually left the ranch, and it has since been sold and renamed.
Kids have like an hour left, so get extra comfortable, kids, because after that, y'all gotta go. It's a wrap for y'all, because this thing turns into something that when y'all get older, y'all don't want to come to. Okay? So, you know, let's just start to get our groove on a little bit.
In 2009, after Mr. Michael Jackson was killed, Mr. Michael Jackson was very close to God. He was an angel among the devils in Hollywood. After Michael Jackson's murder, Hollywood became more and more brutal and very devilish. Mr. Michael Jackson really healed the world. This girl was shocked by what she saw in 2009. A video of it was circulated on the internet. Then it was suddenly deleted, and now on the Epstein list, which the girl then shouted, it is clearly included.
¡Comieron humanos! ¡Asquerosidad! ¡Comieron humanos! Yo no estaba enterada de nada. Que había, o sea, de los asesinatos sí, pero que habían comido humanos. ¡Humanos!
They were eating humans. Those are the words of Gabriela Rico Jimenez. In 2009, she was 21 years old. After attending what she described as a high society party in Monterrey, Mexico, she appeared on video in a state of panic. She accused elites, mentioned Disney, and even referenced the British royal family. She talked about violence, murders, things so extreme that saying them out loud made her sound insane. But the most chilling part isn't what she said, it's what happened next. That same night, she was arrested, taken to a psychiatric facility. And after that, nothing. No public appearances, no clear updates. She simply vanished. Years later, in 2026, her name starts circulating again because documents linked to the Epstein case begin resurfacing. Pages, testimonies, screenshots, which some claim line up disturbingly well with what she was already saying back in 2009. She spoke about the royal family. She never named anyone, but today we know that a member of that royalty was publicly linked to Epstein, photographed at the time with a 17-year-old girl. Coincidence? Or the story of a woman labeled insane before disappearing?
Critical. There is no evidence in the Epstein files that supports any claim of cannibalism. A community note added to one of the viral posts states clearly, quote, "There is no evidence DeGeneres engaged in cannibalism." It is true that DeGeneres' name reportedly appears among more than 300 high-profile individuals referenced in the broader Epstein document index. However, appearance in investigative materials does not equal wrongdoing. Many names included in the files appear in third-party communications, interviews, flight logs, or peripheral documentation without any allegations of criminal conduct. Other well-known figures referenced in the broader index reportedly include Barack Obama, Michelle Obama, Joe Biden, Hunter Biden, James Comey, and Oprah Winfrey, among many others. Being mentioned.
Steven Spielberg, he eats babies. Whole babies.
That looks great, thank you. What you want in a pancake is to have the consistency of young human flesh.
It's spongy, it has life to it.
You're with a guy with brightly colored undergarments, and you got soft human flesh in front of you. You're in a weird place.
I'm looking forward to this.
And you're a late 50.
Yeah.
But somehow you both look the same age there. I mean, you know, there's something to be said for being with a younger man.
I suck baby's blood. And put it on my face.
Okay.
Just joking.
If the person okayed it, I would eat a human. If you were at a very fancy restaurant and they were like a tiny piece of human meat.
No. I think the only way
you wouldn't try a tiny bite?
No.
Really?
The school first opened in 2007. The dorm matron, Virginia Tiny Makapo, was hit with 13 counts of maltreatment and inappropriate behavior towards 6 students. Reports claim she was touching the girls in ways that were completely unacceptable. By 2011, the situation turned on, where someone says something strange is going on with Oprah Winfrey's South African School for Girls.
She has tarnished
Go
the
and look and see what happened to
reputations of
those
others
girls.
in Hollywood.
And honestly, that line alone gave the
Meanwhile,
internet chills. Stop there.
she has
Back in
diverted
2009,
attention
7
and sold
students
children
were suspended for
engaged
harassing
in child
and physically
trafficking
attacking
with
their
Epstein,
classmates.
P.
And as the
Diddy,
years passed,
Jay-Z,
new rumors
and
began
his
spreading
gang.
online.
This
Claims that
snake
girls
is
from the school
disgusting.
had started
The
disappearing.
root of the
People
devil.
online insisted
Neither
several students
Weinstein
went missing,
nor
though no official
Epstein,
news reports ever backed
nor
that up.
P. Diddy,
Still, the whispers
nor
lingered,
Jay-Z
and social media
interview
kept
people.
fueling the fire. To the
Oprah is
island,
gone
the girls
OR.
are probably
These are
being
not
used.
important to
We need
him
to do
so
something
that
about
the world
it, another person
hears.
said.
Oprah, you are a devil mutant, and you have been playing for this team and will always play. That's why you paid and advertised this parasite sick filth. You rape children in the way. I pray for you to get the most important punishment. Hey, 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 Oprah, you hell root snake. Where are you hide? You are in Team P. Diddy, Jay-Z, Epstein, Weinstein. Child trafficking. This is so ugly. And you are in up to your neck. Drug trafficking, sexual abuse, prostitution, the disappeared and murdered people and artists. Wherever you hide, you will be in the row like your companions. 2312. Du hast vollgendes gesendit.
He's even worse than Diddy.
Cassiogenetic
Yes, you heard that right.
selections. Here
Worse
are the
than
of
Diddy.
for Mr. Michael
According
Jackson.
to him, Oprah has
And
been
you are
sabotaging the
gangster
careers of black
vampires.
actors in Hollywood just to protect her spot at the top. And honestly, that accusation alone shook the internet. But things got even wilder when people brought up her all-girls school in Africa. For years, rumors have circulated about girls allegedly going missing after reporting maltreatment, and even stories about human remains being found on the premises. Whether these claims are exaggerated or real, the fact that they exist at all is enough to make people question everything. Now everyone wants to know what's true and what's rumor, and why Oprah's name keeps popping up in conversations about shady behind-the-scenes Hollywood behavior. And let's be real, girls from the school had started disappearing. People online insisted several students went missing, though no official news reports ever backed that up. Still, the whispers lingered, and social media kept fueling the fire.
Level, not easy. It's not easy for me, for Jay, for Oprah.
Interviewed witnesses, collected evidence from remote villages, missing children reports dating back to 2002, strange aircraft sightings, locals paid off or threatened to stay quiet. The allegations are clear and horrifying. Epstein turned parts of our country into a playground for the super rich. Children, vulnerable kids from poor communities, were taken, stripped, released into isolated terrain, and hunted like animals. Guns, dogs, helicopters. For sport, survivors describe Jay-Z and Beyonce being there on at least 3 occasions, laughing, directing, even killing when the moment felt right. Multiple witnesses describe Beyonce stepping in for the final act on cornered victims, cold and deliberate. Another talked about skin taken afterward, human skin turned into leather for a tour outfit.
They, as Smith now prefers to be called, identified as...
Some of y'all are still in denial that the music industry is evil, satanic, and demonic. Here's your proof.
I got introduced to the music industry through gospel music. I swear I wanted to be like the Amy Grant of music, but it didn't work out, so I sold my soul to the devil.
Still not convinced? Hang on.
They, as Smith now prefers to be called, identified as Satan.
Katy Perry performs Dark Horse at the Grammys.
Blood Sneakers, Lil Nas X's collaboration with art collective Mischief. The 666 pair of sneakers feature gold pentagrams, inverted crosses, as well as human blood inside the...
Wait, there's more.
I made a bargain with it, a long time ago, and I'm
bargain with what?
What was your bargain? To get where I am now. Should I ask who you made the bargain with? with the chief commander. On this earth? And on this earth, and then in the world we can't.
Favorite Billie Eilish manifesting a demon live on stage.
Kids have like an hour left. So get extra comfortable, kids, because after that, y'all gotta go. It's a wrap for y'all, because this thing turns into something that when y'all get older, y'all don't want to come to. Okay? So, let's just start to get our groove on a little bit. Then an hour, we put the kids away, it's all good. Hey, DJ, let's hit it. Let's do it.
Jay-Z ran so-called child safaris in Africa for Epstein-linked elites, with accusers saying young children were trafficked under the cover of philanthropy and humanitarian work. Allegations that people say reframe his overseas charity trips in a much darker light.
Bombshell footage has surfaced from Africa, where Jay-Z has been accused of running child safaris.
for Jeffrey Epstein's VIP associates and the global elite.
And that's where people start arguing back to Jay's documented 2006 Angola visit, where he helped fund clean water pipelines after seeing children walk miles for drinkable water. Moment supporters say prove he's not the monster being painted, while critics argue that public charity can coexist with private darkness. Because people don't think silence just happens, Liz Crokin has alleged that a guest mysteriously died right before she was set to expose Jay-Z, a death that happened so conveniently close to the reveal that people immediately started asking whether it was a coincidence or a warning. That allegation alone is why so many people believe witnesses don't just disappear. They get erased right before they talk. That's the theory people keep circling. Why so
So you see how we do it here on a Saturday. This is where it's about to be.
Oh, you put that thing on the
So you see how we do it here on a Saturday. This is where it's about to be.
Oh, wow. I didn't even realize, you know. Wow, that is crazy. And you can tell the energy is mad weird. This is the most creepiest video I've actually seen. See the way Jay-Z's just staring back in there, looking at the kids? Nah. Just listen to what Jay-Z and P. Diddy say to each other as well.
thing on the
So you see how we do it here on a Saturday. This is where it's...
See how we do it here on a Saturday and points to the kids. That has literally just killed me. Ladies and gentlemen, I can't believe this. I literally can't believe this. Jay-Z and P. Diddy with a room full of kids. That is crazy. And their reaction, even that guy that creeped.
You probably heard that Jay-Z's name popped up in those Epstein files. There's a woman claiming she woke up inside Epstein's mansion, and she says Jay-Z and Harvey Weinstein were both in the room. And as soon as that information started circulating, 50 jumped on social media talking about how he wants to put together a whole documentary on Jay-Z and Epstein. 50 said, damn, they got your man Jay in the Epstein files. I gotta do a doc on this ish. But here's where Beyonce made a mistake, thinking she could control what 50 does. Allegedly, Beyonce got her lawyers to warn 50 to stop posting about Jay and Epstein, but as you can imagine, that just made things worse. So after 50 posted about possibly doing a documentary on Jay-Z's connection to Epstein, a source close to Beyonce said she was furious because apparently the Carters had already paid off major media outlets to not talk about this. Even the Shade Room quietly deleted their post about Jay being named in the Epstein files. And notice how TMZ, People, Us Weekly, Complex, Billboard, none of these outlets touched this story. So the Carters probably...
No, you gotta go back now and say, why was the NFL continuing to support? With all the confusion going on in the media. And maybe it's all of that found money right there.
And then out of nowhere came these young children. I don't know where they came from. And I sat next to this child, and the child sat next to Beyonce. So I hear B say something about...
I'm not gonna lie, after we found out why Beyonce made a lot of the songs that she did and for what reasons, I am not shocked one bit to find out that Jay-Z is allegedly listed in the Epstein file.
50 Cent is still keeping his foot firmly on Jay-Z and Beyonce's necks. And now he's hinting that Beyonce herself